Good morning. Busy day yesterday. Let's see how we got on, or the picks that I successfully made. Still some struggles with some prior Champions League sides like Red Bull Salzburg, about as trustworthy as Man United these days. So got to have a little bit of care with a few of these sides. Working our way down, alphabetical order. DZ, Goritza, this is what you expect, 1.27, as I said in the live stream. These kind of odds, 3-0, 3-1, any other home score, and got a nice starting point with Goritza scoring first. You wouldn't have got much value because it's a relatively early goal, such a short price favourite, but you could have got at least over evens about DZ there. So nice work from them. Could have arguably laid that draw second half if the draw odds was short enough as well. That red card just compounded matters for Goritza. So standard play, exactly the way the market expects. 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. Bit aggrieved not to have stuck with Sparta Prague yesterday. The best entry point for any play is 2-0 to the opponent, because you're going to get decent odds about the odds-on favourite Sparta Prague. And look at that, done by half-time. Haraslin having an excellent day with a hat-trick. Done by half-time, and you wouldn't have had much long to wait in the second half for them to wrap it up. This is the big profit maker when an underdog is leading 2-0 and the opponent can get back, preferably before half-time. You could even cash out then, take the gift and run to the hills. We had that with another match as well yesterday. All done and dusted by half-time. Excellent stuff. So that was a standout in the Czech one league. In the English Premier League, well, I did call that for you. Leicester and Arsenal. It's a real pattern of Leicester's when they're meeting London opponents at home. 0-0 at half-time. 0-0 at half-time. London opponent. 0-0 at half-time. 0-2 defeat. 0-0 at half-time. 0-2 defeat. 0-0 at half-time. 0-2 defeat. The only negative about yesterday, the only confidence crusher, well, would you be trusting this bloke up front? Raheem Sterling. Not me. Havertz injured. Jesus injured. So it's a very touchy mouse. So just to repeat, Havertz injured. Martinelli injured. Jesus injured. Saka injured. So it's a hell of a forward line on the injury list. Not the most appealing forward line in the world there either. But they got through. Just shows how poor Leicester City are as well. Aston Villa and Ipswich, well, we were expecting the win, weren't we? With that red card. And indeed, with Ipswich scoring first, we were expecting the win. That's the only real way you'd have got any value out of the market, because the market factored in the red. But Aston Villa will be bitterly disappointed to have dropped 3 points. No Champions League concerns for them this weekend. Fulham and Newcastle, well, the market got that one right. It's interesting to see a top three, Nottingham Forest, not even favourites. Man City, well, we laid them 3-0 up just because it's a Champions League weekend and they could cock things up like one or two other sides did yesterday. West Ham and Brentford don't play London derbies. Crystal Palace and Everton, new manager syndrome catches another 3 points for Everton. Moyes has made a hell of a difference. Got Alcaraz scoring on this particular occasion. Really solid from Everton. So far under David Moyes. Just makes a change from that trying to nick a 1-0 under Sean Dyche. Very unexciting football as well. Not what the fans want to be seeing. Championship League One. any real plays there yesterday. Laying the draw second half, Blackburn and Plymouth, based on the need for points, basically, for both teams. That was an obvious ploy. We did this as well, Luton and Sheffield United. Delighted with my new strategy. Getting a little bit more out of the market than you would have ordinarily got, having just laid the draw at the beginning of the second half. Again, Sheffield United showing an incredibly good second half scoring record. They got rid of Middlesbrough last match with second half goals. Did so again against Luton. That would have been a break even for me had it ended 0-0. The only way I could lose was with a score draw on this particular match. Middlesbrough and Watford, one for the insurance. If you did play, very disappointing from Middlesbrough. Only showed up at the end of the match, basically, stats-wise. I don't know why these teams do this. Suddenly go for it with 5 minutes to go when they've had all of the second half to go for it. Go for it until you get an equaliser. Insurance would have paid out there had you got involved there. Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry. Some of the Betfair markets were suspended yesterday, and this was a casualty. Thoroughly deserved this equaliser, even though it looked like an own goal, but they were absolutely bossing the Owls. That would have been my only play. Get that equaliser and then cash out. Cashing out between 62 and 92 would have been perfect. Another good result for Lampard's boys. Fat Frank is pulling off 4 wins in 5. Now they're on the cusp of a promotion playoff place. This is moving day or moving month. See a win for Sheffield Wednesday. That would have got them into the playoff places. A draw for the Baggies yesterday keeps them clinging on to that top 6 berth. We've got to know all about league positions at this stage of the season. So that few of these matches yesterday we couldn't play because the markets were suspended by Betfair, which was a real pity. Anything else doing yesterday? Well, Bolton coming from behind to get the win against the Shrews, as the market expected. But at this stage of the season, it's very difficult. Blackpool and Mansfield, I would have laid this late draw, and I would have also laid Mansfield at 2-3. But the market, again, was suspended by Betfair, which was a pity. A lot of these lower tiers we couldn't really play. Dug out a couple of plays, just couldn't get onto the market. Well, emphatic stuff from the Champions League sides, Marseille and Monaco yesterday. Red card changed the match, basically. It was 0-1 to Nantes. Monaco led by half-time. That's what I'm talking about. If you can get it all done and dusted by half-time, you can make a really good profit. But there was very little value to be had in the match odds market for an initial 1.5 favourite. Even a goal down still wasn't any good value. This, again, pre-Champions League struggle for Paris Saint-Germain. Ruiz getting the goal. Probably a much changed side, I would suspect. Let's have a look. Due Kvaratskhelia, that's a new signing. Wow. They've got the, what is he, the Kazakhstani Messi or something like that. That's a really good signing. Kvaratskhelia. It looks like a much changed side with a few of the big guns on the bench and a very Portuguese-leaning bench as well. Luis Enrique from Spain. So they're getting a lot of Portuguese players like Nottingham Forest and Wolves have done as well. So another one of those potential Champions League strugglers just crossing the line. Another Champions League struggler failed to collect. What we did here was a great idea of John H's. Both teams to score no and then cover the 2-1. That way you can go straight into the match odds market, sit back and hope Bochum don't score a 3rd consecutive goal. But that's typical pre-Champions League performance. That's what we have to work with weekends like this. Check out these two as well. Bayern Munich are playing Celtic next week. St. Pauli and Freiburg laying the draw second half. But it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. St. Pauli got a soft spot for them to get the win, but no. Stuttgart and Wolfsburg, again, I think this was a lay the draw second half. Yep. Got the goal from Stuttgart, and that would have got you a later back profit there. So another Champions League casualty there. Paris Saint-Germain arguably should have scored a lot more than that single goal. It's pervading this weekend, and it will do so again today. In the Bundesliga 2, any real plays there yesterday? Not for me, but it is important, particularly these 0-0s. I would have arguably had a look at that one late on. Kaiserslautern, Hanover, given the need for points for these sides. Italian Serie A, another casualty of the Champions League. Atalanta did have a goal disallowed. Again, if you lay the over 0.5 goals at half-time, sit on it, and then lay that draw as late as possible, you're going to get extremely good value if you get a goal and it doesn't end a score draw. AC Milan, another Champions League underperformance, just crossing the line with a 75th minute Jimenez goal against underpants Verona. Lazio-Napoli derby style match. I wouldn't have played that one myself. Italian Serie B, well, look at Sassuolo continuing to score freely, highly likely to be going up. Did take on Carrarese 3-0 up, and Salernitana were having a good fist of it at 3-2. I think no, took them 3-1 up, because at 3-2, the complexion of the match is completely different. Need for points as well for these two. So Tyrol, we laid that late draw. Right, I hope members of or live stream attendees did. It was much needed win. Yes, it was a penalty, but hey, we'll take that. Look at the difference that this has made to Sud Tyrol. They are now bringing Mantova, Sampdoria, Reggiana and Brescia and arguably Cittadella into the equation, and Carrarese into the relegation dogfight. Just with that win yesterday, can you take 3 points away from that, and the gap remains at 3. So this was a vital win, and it was all queued up, particularly with that second Samp red card. So I did hope you played that in some capacity to get the Sud Tyrol win. We did lay the late draw. You could have got Utrecht at 1.24 at their lowest. Thanks to Bosun for reminding us of the need for points for PSV. They've played 2 games more than Ajax. They needed to get something out of that match. Ideally needed a win, not a draw. But they are score drawing too many. And the NEC Nijmegen match was an example of them coming back from behind with late goals. That's why we got involved with that Utrecht 1-2. So I hope you played that one. That complemented the Besiktas win very nicely. Just at the end of the live stream, we started to get our biggest profits. Feyenoord, another pre-Champions League side failing to score. You see the pattern this weekend that we're having to work with. Quite something. Working our way down. Scottish Premier League, well, that's exactly what you expect of that, isn't it? 3-0, 3-1, any other home score, and a goal. If it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, back 1-0 or 2-0 in the half-time, or any other score in the half-time score market, and you'll turn that 1.18 into about a 6-1, 7-1 return. Not too shabby. Aberdeen winning. Unbelievable, Jeff. They got Fergie back managing them. They got the win in the cup and have actually won a league match for the first time in Lord knows how long. La Liga yesterday, Leganes and Alaves. We played this one at the live stream. A late 3-3 taking on Joan Jordan. Fantastic name. That's Joe Jordan's wife. Joan Jordan, the tough centre-back. Should go home, make the dinner for Joe. Joan Jordan, my new favourite football name. But Joan Jordan couldn't stop El Haddadi getting a 3-3, which we played. And then I sacrificed 50p to a quid to lay that late draw, given the need for a win. Now, why did we get involved with this one? Why did we take on that Alaves 2-3? They pretty much swap positions with that draw. You take a point away, they're on 33. Take the win away, this lot were on 24 with that 2-3 lead. That simple point psychologically potentially changed Leganes' season now out of the relegation zone just for that single point. That's why taking on that 2-3 late on was very wise. They had a goal disallowed in the 82nd minute to give you a warning that they were going for it. So this could potentially save the season. It could potentially save the season. Not even Joan Jordan could save Alaves there. Villarreal, Valencia, no real play. Atletico Madrid getting an equaliser. Well, they are solid at home. Another Champions League side cocking it up. Another Champions League side cocking it up. Now, these two might not have it next week, but I think Real Madrid do. Aren't they involved in that massive tussle with Man City, aren't they? So how many sides this weekend involved in the Champions League have either not won or had troubles scoring? Young boys have been involved in the Champions League as well. So some good plays yesterday. This was the biggest profit maker. And why did we make so much money? It's because the win was condensed into the second half. I've got to thank Mr. Batagov for his own goal in nailing that in the 65th minute. And then you cash out and you make a nice amount there. £71.40. So if you go for the win or you go for the +1, that's an evens return, but you've got the draw covered on this one. So at 1-1, you're winning. Here, you're losing at 1-1. You've got a small loss on the draw. Great result for Besiktas, and this is what happens when you condense the win into the second half. There's old Oxtail Chamberpot. He's playing for Besiktas as well. So they're picking up some familiar names. Ciro Immobile, Rafa Silva. The Turkish league is picking up some very familiar names, aren't they? And again, we've got this Portuguese/Brazilian influence. So Ciro Immobile, there we go, Portuguese. Look, João Maria, Rafa Silva, Fernandes. They seem to be pervading a lot of leagues, the Portuguese. Ciro Immobile, really strong forward, could be playing in a far stronger league than this, I would suggest. Old Ole. Great result. That was the biggest profit of the day. Had I stayed on with it, that would have been up to 89 quid. So that was the main profit maker. Looking on to today. And we work through in alphabetical order. So the Austrian Bundesliga beginning. Let's wait for the odds to populate. Nothing much to talk about there. But again, collect your odds on favourites if you're having a trading session. It does make life easier. For example, we'll know if Beerschot or Mechelen open the scoring. Then we can investigate the match. This is a newly promoted side. Beerschot should be vulnerable today. Mechelen and Unison Gilwa have been involved in the Champions League as well. So we'll be careful with them. Czech 1 League was very good with Sparta Prague yesterday, coming from 2 goals down to win 2-3. That's when you make your big money. Slovan Liberec, Poulsen and Slavia Prague are the main odds-on favourites there. Liverpool against Wolves. Well, Wolves, under the new manager, have shown a consistent pattern of failure against the top 6. So this is a pattern under new management. So we've got to take this as read. A win against Aston Villa is the anomaly, I would suggest, there. But look at that loss to Arsenal. Lost to Chelsea. Tending to concede at least 3 goals as well. Lost to Newcastle. Lost to Nottingham Forest. Conceding Guess what? 3 goals. Now look at where those sides are in the standings, and then look at where Liverpool are in the standings. Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Chelsea. Where are Liverpool? Bang, they're right in that top 6, where Wolves keep conceding at least 3 goals. I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win today. They've got to get points as well after dropping points at Everton. Tottenham and Man U. I wouldn't be playing this one with stolen money. Goodness me. Watch out for the Tottenham team news. I want to see Maddison back at least if you're going to give Tottenham a chance. Man U are so poor that Tottenham Hotspur are a favourite. That tells you everything, doesn't it? Lyon, odds on away at Montpellier. Nice and Le Havre. Le Havre, desperate need for points, but they don't seem to be able to convert. Even with home advantage. Look at Le Havre at home. Where are they? Where are they? They are the worst home side on the standings. Ouch. 5 consecutive home defeats, and they're playing Nice, who are away and 7th. Bit sporadic, but it looks like a comfortable afternoon for Nice. Desperate need for points for Le Havre, but you've just seen that home form is just not there, is it? Lots of odds on favourites in France today. Werder Bremen and the Hoff, you'd expect a goal before half-time, ideally, with these two. So if you can wait 15 to 20 minutes and then have a go. Eintracht Frankfurt against Holstein Kiel should be as obvious as the market suggests. Holstein Kiel, another side, desperate need for points. Similar story for Frankfurt, in 3rd place, can break into the 40-point barrier with a win today. One of only 3 sides then to have broken that important 40 points. Having an excellent season. They've got to worry about Freiburg and Stuttgart as far as that Champions League spot is concerned. The gap between them and the top 2 is marked, isn't it? Far too many draws, dropping 6 points there. So can you imagine that those being wins, things would be looking a lot rosier. Frankfurt's opponent today, Holstein Kiel. Well, they're smack bang at the bottom. But a win today will take them to 16 points and have the opportunity of a relegation playoff place rather than being automatically relegated. So still crucial for Holstein to do something today. Heidenheim and Mainz. Heidenheim in the last relegation playoff place. A win today will keep them there, but they'll increase the gap between them, Bochum and Holstein Kiel, if they can get a win today. But Mainz away from home have got a 3-goal habit, and if they get a win today, they could potentially go into that top 6 Conference League berth, with Stuttgart losing yesterday. I think that was against Wolfsburg, even when they led. So it could be a moving day for the likes of Mainz. They do have a very solid 3-goal habit. We can have a look at that. In the Bundesliga. Watch out, they could ignite Mainz away from home. We did play the Stuttgart-Mainz match and nearly came off with £100+ return for something like a £4 or £5 stake. But watch out, away from home. This is the match I'm talking about. Look at that response from Mainz. 3 goals. 3 goals. 3 goals. 3 goals. This is all away from home. 3 goals. 3 goals. And it's fallen off the radar in the last 3. But can they get back to 3 goals today? They're playing the right team. Only 2 wins since the 13th of September. So that's Mainz. If Heidenheim score first, Mainz could ignite that 3-goal habit. They've scored in 3 of their 4 matches against 12th and lower away. So watch out for the 3-goal Mainz today. Not priced to score 3 goals. German Bundesliga 2. Just keep an eye on where these teams are for your motivation factors. Ulm, newly promoted. Nuremberg, 9th place, couple of wins. And they are within 8 points of a top 3 berth. It's a very barren league, isn't it? You're not getting much of a reward. There's no playoffs in the Bundesliga 2. You've got to be top 3. It's a very harsh league to get out of, isn't it? Nuremberg, well, could do their season no harm with an extra 3 points there just to move up a place or 2. Ulm, I would suggest, are in the relegation zone. A win today takes them to 20 points, with Preußen Munster, I think, playing yesterday and losing to Paderborn, or 2 days ago. So a win today for Ulm takes them to 20 points, equal with Preußen Munster, and again, that relegation playoff place, probably what they're after. Regensburg, they're at the bottom there. So Hamburg will be eyeing 3 points, and Hamburg are 3rd. A win today could take them top, with Köln losing. And Kaiserslautern 0-0 yesterday. The onus is on Hamburg to get the win. So if Regensburg do score first today, I would certainly be looking at Hamburg's response. Could go top with a win today. Talk about motivation. Schalke should be in the Bundesliga, but no, they're just above the relegation zone, having an awful time of it. 3 points above, 4 points above the relegation zone. Another 3 today zooms them up to near top 10. Karlsruhe, where are they? Mid-table mediocrity. They are some 8 points shy of a top 3 berth. So the Hamburg match is the real standout here, isn't it? You're playing bottom, you've got to win, and you'll go top. Talk about motivation for that. Greek Super League, we'll keep an eye on that today. Panathinaikos odds on. Ollie, odds on. PAOK, odds on. You saw Celtic yesterday, 3-0, 3-1. That's the kind of scoreline you expect of these shorties. So if you fancy it, 0-0 after 20 minutes, back 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted in the half-time score market. You saw it with Celtic 2-0 by half-time. That's when you make your 6-1 or higher return. He's got his tools out today again, the neighbour. Hope you can hear him. Italian Serie A, Pericomo, says Fabregas's side, likely to have a tough match against the Viola, who the wheels have fallen off a little bit recently. Monza and Lecce, that's the relegation 6-pointer. Udinese, odds on at home to Empoli. Parma and Roma, the Tinkerman, might be in with a shout, but this is where Parma get their points at home. This is a derby-style match. Juve and Inter, I would be favouring Inter Milan here. Even though it's a derby-style match, I don't think the old lady are quite up to it this season. Plenty of motivating factors for Inter Milan. They're in a squabble with Napoli. 3 consecutive draws for Napoli. They must take advantage of that. Go top with a win today. Juve, yeah, they're top 5, but they are some 11 points shy of Inter Milan. I would be favouring Inter Milan today. Huge motivation, like Hamburg, to go top with a win. It is a derby-style match, though, so you've got to be very careful with that. Can get some unexpected results. Dutch Eredivisie, Ajax, standout 20. Can they take advantage of PSV drawing and Feyenoord drawing? Ajax could go top with a win and a game in hand. Another huge motivator for them today. 20, 6th in the league, will stay 6th with a win today. Those are the 2 main boys in the Eredivisie. Got a lot of other football, including the Spaniards. Rangers 1.62 only away at Hearts. That could be telling. Normally very strong odds on. Atletico Bilbao have been absolutely rock solid. They tend to get goals when we ask them to. Mallorca Las Palmas, the Islanders playing a chance for Mallorca to end what has been a poor recent run of results for them. That's not what Mallorca are used to. It's back to the bad old days. Failing to score in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 6 matches have failed to score. They are priced to be competitive today, so do make note of that. Despite poor form, they're slotting in at odds on. So those are the main matches today. Live stream for me, for members only, from 2 o'clock. And do bear with me, please. As you know, I got hacked recently and I've had to rebuild the computer. That means the software sometimes doesn't work. But if it does, I'll be there at 2 o'clock or just after 2 o'clock for a live stream. Don't forget that the live stream link is unlisted. You won't see it at YouTube, but it's for you members only. So those of you with the key, you'll be able to follow the live stream. So I hope you can make it. Probably 2 p.m. would fit in with the Liverpool Wolves match, Montpellier, Bundesliga. More importantly, the Italians, a couple of Italian matches, and Serie B as well. So 2 p.m. live stream today. I hope you can make it. We'll carry on our good record. Those of you who want to join the live stream, well, you can join here. If you're not a Football Trading Profits member, take the free trial offer up. And if you fancy just dipping your toe in, we've got Betfair Trading Made Easy course and free Premier League research for you as well in your inbox. So there's the Betfair Trading Made Easy link. Name and email address, get your Betfair trading lessons and your free Premier League research with over 2.5 goal stats. Have a great Sunday. I will see members from about 12:30 and from 2 p.m. onwards as well for the live stream. Don't forget, the live stream will not appear at YouTube, but it will appear once you've clicked on the link at around 2 p.m. I might be a little late if the software doesn't work because of the newly formed laptop. Have a great day. Let's make some more green today.